Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you to Maxon for inviting us. My name is Carolin. I'm managing director and producer at Relative. Standing next to me is Timo. He is a partner at the studio and also a 3D lead. And today we prepared a little presentation for you. I'm gonna start off by introducing who we are and talking about the work that we do. And afterwards, we're gonna show you one of our most recent product films called Echo Berlin. And Timo will then break down our CGI production pipeline by taking you through the step-by-step process of creating the film that I just mentioned. Let's dive in. So we're Relative Berlin, as you already heard. We started off in 2016. Am I talking a bit too loud? No, it's fine. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we started off in 2016 as a couple of freelancers that got together and started working out of another freelancer's living room. At that time, we were doing mostly motion graphics and VFX. And over the course of the years, we broadened our field of interest and also developed new skills. So nowadays, we can proudly call ourselves a creative motion design studio. And with creative, I mean that we like to get involved quite early in the conceptualization of projects. So we work closely together with brands to not only help them write their stories, but also consult in the right medium for them to connect with their audiences in an engaging way. And we do that through three main components, which are design, animation, and tech. Design is the backbone of everything that we do, as our first thought. And we there reference go back to referencing quite a lot the principles and fundamentals of design to create stunning images that we make then come to life through detailed animation. And animation is the way we tell the stories that we write. And then tech is a big part of it. We don't shy away of technically challenging projects. We love incorporating new technologies into our workflow, most recently with machine learning and AI prompting. And over the course of the years, we developed a special interest in immersive storytelling. So through extended reality, such as virtual production, the development of AR and VR application, and especially with VR applications, we're seeing really interesting use cases at the studio at the moment. One in particular is a long-standing collaboration we have with the research lab back in Berlin. And the work they do is also implementing newer technologies in the work of emergency services, such as firefighters. So what we do for them there is create VR applications that replicate disastrous situations and simulate the use of these newer technologies to make the work of these emergency services safer and more efficient. And with the help of through VR, they're able to gather more data to keep researching on it. So this is quite interesting for us. I've been talking quite a lot already about what we do, and I want to show you what we do. But what we're going to show you here today is nothing related to extended reality. We've been using Maxon tools since the inception of our studio, so we thought it would be fitting to showcase the work we've been doing with Maxon tools. But yeah, this is a Maxon reel for us, so to say. What you're seeing here already, or what might be telling, is that we have a distinct style. We are quite heavily influenced by the city of Berlin, and we're techno kids at heart. So we naturally gravitate to muted colors, and when we use colors, there's quite a lot of contrast in it. But we like moody compositions and also enjoy music quite a lot. There's no music in here because I wanted to keep talking, and I'm gonna keep talking a tiny bit more. You're probably seeing a lot of different characters. And this is a pipeline that I'm particularly proud of. So we established a character creation pipeline that we do all in-house, it being for stylized or photorealistic characters. We create these characters and then we design clothing for it, and we also do the motion capturing all in-house, which makes for quite a fun work days in a way. And to move on, I want to show you the faces behind the work. These are our 10 talented team members. Although most of them are 3D generalists, they each have their own specialization. And when it comes to project, we mix and match team members. So it also makes for a really collaborative work environment. And that gets reflected in the big open space that we have that just invites you to play around with different tech. We do have a photogrammetry rig at our studio where people love bringing different trinkets to scan and then later incorporate into their work. Or as I had mentioned with motion capture, it's quite a tangible and collaborative process where we just have a lot of fun recording different movements. And this aspect of playfulness is really important to us. And we dedicate a lot of time to it. And we do it through the execution of passion projects. So we've been getting quite good nowadays to set aside time between commercial projects to work on our own ideas. And over the years, we've been increasing the scope of these projects, so they're not only increasing in duration, they could last for weeks, but we're also having more team members join. So it ends up being being compared to the scope of a commercial project. Our passion projects are getting inflated and bigger. But there is a reason we're increasing the scope of the passion projects. We see that it's quite a valuable tool for us as a studio. Now, firstly, it's an amazing way for younger talent to be able to assume a role in a safe space, or it's a way for us as a studio to try out new styles that maybe would not match quite well with our clients. And also, regarding the technical aspect, this is a way we keep further developing our pipeline, incorporating new technologies into it, and optimizing workflows that we already have. There is an issue with it, though. There are challenges with passion projects that are this big. When is it actually done? When is everybody happy with it? When there are so many people involved in it? So it can be quite hard to meet a deadline and have a delivery date because there is no client saying, hey, I need this at that time. There are other problems or like challenges with it. It might be quite hard to stick to a structure because usually in our commercial pipeline, we're quite anal about the way that we work. We're stringent with the processes that we have, and especially working close directly with brands, we follow this structure right here. So we have a briefing that can be quite loose, can only be, oh, I might have an idea for something, might have a problem right there, could you help us execute it? Not really sure what the output should be, how it should look. So we dive into a discovery phase with the client. This is where we go quite deep into the client's brand, and see what their target audience is, what their visual world looks like, and how to best reach their audiences. After going through that, we have a lengthy consultation period, just us sitting down with them and suggesting different ways of reaching their clients. As I mentioned, we work a lot with interactive technology as well. So this is something interesting for clients that have tech-savvy audiences. So we are able to incorporate AR there quite a lot as well. Or maybe it should be a film. something that will be on YouTube or not on TV, but we do this consulting process quite closely with the brand. Then we go into development. We start writing quite a lot, which is unusual for studios to do, but we do a lot of writing. And we start visualizing what we want to create. After that, we actually go into production. Timo will be breaking it down in detail for you in just 2 seconds. And of course, there is a delivery that with passion projects, quite hard to get. And what I'm quite proud of is that we've been incorporating debriefs into our pipeline, not only for the team, but also with the client. And it's such an enriching process. Can definitely recommend. But yeah, this is our commercial pipeline. I'm gonna give it to Timo to tell you a little bit more about in detail of how our production pipeline works, and also finally showcase our product film. No, go right here.
Thank you, Caroline, for giving us the intro and a view into the commercial pipeline. This pipeline is more for the external, so the communication with the client and so on. And the stuff I will talk about now is more internal and for the team. And we chose a project which is a passion project. It's called Echo Berlin. And we decided to make a commercial ad for a portable speaker. So a speaker you can bring everywhere. We come from Berlin, so music and techno is a bit in our DNA, and that's why we had the idea to do something with a speaker. And we like to challenge ourselves in this passion project. So we try to use new technologies, we try to try new softwares, but we also try to try a different style than usually. Normally we are more minimalistic, black and white, and in this case we try to be more working with bright colors, be a bit more playful, and so on. And another thing we wanted to try is to use new techniques like AI. But before I go into detail, I would like to show you the final product.
Now the sound is not working, right?
Sound.
Are you hearing any sound?
Ah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes, that's it. Now I would like to go a bit. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
I would like to go a bit in depth now. With commercial projects, we start with a client briefing, of course, and this includes really technical, important informations like the time frame, formats, and stuff like that, but also marketing stuff like the USP of the product, the target group, which goal the client wants to achieve with the film, for example. In our case, we did not have that, so we just started with a mood board of the actual product we wanted to create. For that, we used our internal image libraries and images from the internet, of course, but we also generate images with Midjourney in this case, with AI. I think a lot of studios started doing that because you can go more precise and in depth with what you want to create, because sometimes you just cannot find the right images for what you want to show. But we wanted to bring it a step further, so also to step out of our comfort zone, we decided to design the product ourselves. Obviously, we are not product designers, but we decided to design the product from scratch. And for that, we decided to use AI as well. So we started with prompting images. This is quite easy with Midjourney, obviously, But to get really what you want and in a precise way, there are a lot of turnarounds. But it's amazing that you can have so many iterations in a quick time. But we were not only generating images, we also took images out of our mood boards and fed them into Midjourney, and then mixed them with with the images from Midjourney. So in this way, we were able to art direct it in a really nice way, and then have a lot of images in the end where we could choose our favorites from, and where we also could go in detail and see which parts we like from which image and which functions for the which functions from the each image and each speaker we like. After a longer process, we decided for one model and to combine all the different functions and all the color schemes and everything we wanted. We started scribbling the final product before we jumped into the modeling process. As I said, we like to try new tools when we are on passion projects. So in this case, we used plasticity to model the speaker. It's a NERP-based modeling tool, which turned out to work really well. There were some challenges, especially there's this handle on the top, which is like curved, and then there's another curve on the other side, and everything is beveled. So it's not so easy to model, but it worked in the end, and we were really happy with the result. The UV unwrapping we did in good old Cinema 4D, and we are super happy that they updated the UV system, and yeah, it was a no-brainer to use Cinema for that, and it worked really well. This is how the final product looks. As you can see here, we were focusing on different key aspects of the speaker. Like in a client briefing, in general, the client have an idea what they want to showcase. They say, okay, now we have new colors, or we have this and that. And as we made our own client briefing, we also wanted to highlight certain key features. So in this case, you can see we have color variations, we have touch screen on the top of it, and then the speaker have a button on the side, so it's extendable. And if you put the upper part up, you get a more bass sound. And the last important feature is that the speaker is a lightweight, so you can bring it everywhere easily to a park or everywhere and have a good sound at the same time. So these features we wanted to show in the product film as well. So we jumped into creating a storyboard. As you can see, or you also saw in the final product, we have the shot where the speaker jumps up and the display moves up as well, and these cloth bubbles comes out of that. In this shot, we were representing the display and the lightweight at the same way in a more abstract way. After we had the rough storyline, we thought about where the action should take place. First, we thought about an abstract, minimalistic world, but since we want to step out of our comfort zone, we decided against it. Then we thought about maybe outside would be cool as well, but in the end, we decided to make an interior because we thought that the design of the room can underline the design of the speaker itself. So we choose that. Of course, we created a mood board for that as well. And once again, we used AI to create images, but also used existing images. In the next step, we started with blocking the scene. In this part of the project, you can work with different materials, you can work with different light situations, and we added more and more detail to bring the whole scenery to life and also to make it more believable that it's like a real living room. But at the same time, we tried to make it a bit stylized. Of course, the render and development phase is a really important step for us because here we can really play around. And it's super amazing that we can use Maxon to simulate inside Maxon now and have really complex animations inside cinema without using to go to Houdini or something like that. So we could make a lot of quick iterations, and in the end, we had a lot of different parts where we could choose the best from to integrate it into our final movie. We decided to pick one of them from the main shot to quickly showcase how we did it. Probably the technique in general is familiar to most of you already, but I will quickly go through that. The goal was that the coin is rolling and hitting the speaker, and in the moment where it hits it, the color reveal starts from the bottom to up and revealing the different color. The way we did it is to put a weight map on the speaker itself. That's where it all starts. And after that, we added a shader field with a noise. The shader field with a noise, it's in the end helps to break up the linear reveal and make it more organic and more pleasant to look at. And one important thing there is in the vertex tag, you go to the freeze and put it to grow. And this is actually turning on the function that the growing is happening from the reveal. So if you set that up, you have the effect that when the speaker hits a corner, if the coin hits a speaker, the grow effect starts. But this is only the first part because we wanted to transfer that to the texture as well. For that, we created two different materials and used the vertex attribute to blend between these two materials. If you want to go a bit more in depth and want to art direct it a bit more, it helps a lot to put a scala ramp in between. That helps to get that little detail you see in the grow effect. We really like these simulation tools in cinema, but we really want to point out that deformers are really our friends as well. And the combination of complex simulations and deformers really helped us to make this product film. In this case, this is like, it's only happening on the side of the main impact shot. The paper of this board goes up and floating in the wind a bit. Of course, we could have done it with cloth, for example, as well. But in this case, to art direct it, it was easier to do it like this, especially because the animations are really light in this way. The way we did it here is we combined different deformers. One is a displacer. It makes like a bit of ripple effect on the paper. Then we have the classical bend deformer, which is bending the paper. And then we use the formula effector to make it like float in the wind, kind of. We had a lot of control with this technique, and at the same time, it's not very heavy for the scene. Of course, we really like to work on complex shaders. As you know, probably to create a good image, you need good mesh, you need good light, but first of all, you need good textures as well. So we really spend some time to build our own custom shaders to get photorealism if it's needed, or stylized effect to really get everything out of the project. After we had all ingredients like textures, light, the actual model, materials, and everything together, we came to the part where we created style frames. Here as well, we really take time on that because this really is an important step to really define the final look of the animation. As you can see in the two pictures below, the main ingredients are all the same, the colors are more or less the same, the materials are the same, but the look is totally different. So one time it's more moody, one time it's more playful. So what we do is to create a lot of different style frames and then see in which direction we want to push the project. Of course, we create animatics as well based on the storyboard. We start to animate. Of course, it's super important for the team to know what's happening at what time, to check out timings, to check if we have to change animations and stuff. But in commercial projects, obviously, it's important to show it to the clients as well, because images is one part, but to show the animation itself is a crucial part for the client to understand the whole process before rendering, of course. We are super happy that you have really useful post effects in Cinema and Redshift. We use them a lot, but we also tend to render images and then jump into After Effects and play around there, because sometimes it's easier to make iterations there quickly to really define the final look. In this case, we used the ACES workflow with Redshift, which helps a lot to get the last detail out of your animation and give it a little last sparkle. So after I talked so much about the film, I would like to show it one more time for you to have a better overview of everything, and maybe you can pay attention on the small details I was talking about. As Caro said in the beginning, our studio is the pillars of our studio are design, animation, and tech. We are super happy that Maxon helps us to not think about the tech so much sometimes, so we can really concentrate on animation and design. And I would like to point that out here one more time, because for us the design is really crucial, because you can have the best textures and the best light and the best everything, animations. If the picture in the beginning, the composition and the camera you chose and stuff like that is not right, then it will not look good in the end. So we really take that as a backbone for our animation process. For the animation part, we think that you really should pay attention to the details. Like you see in this shot here, we try to make a lot of small animation beside the main animation, and we do that because we think it's underlining the main animation, and it's kind of the secondary animation in 2D, which is really giving more attention and more power to the main. Although in this project the story is not very deep, we try to really give characters to every little piece. So these small coins which are waking up, and the one in the background which is like also like, what's happening here? These small details we really try to implement in the animations to give it more life and to make it more natural and human, kind of. And of course, last but not least, the sound is really important for a good animation, because again, it's underlining the animation. I would like to show you 3 small snippets where you can see again the sound design for the different parts. For example, here in the beginning, the coin when it's awakes. Or when the coins start rolling, it has this this thing behind it, and it makes this whoosh. Or the last example, when the speaker in the end, before the pack shot goes down, you have this clack effect. Caro said in the beginning that passion projects also have some challenges sometimes, especially when it comes to perfectionism and that you have the feeling you don't know when to end and you want to bring it to an end, but you're not sure. So we would like to share some learnings from the passion projects we did so far. One is set a fixed delivery date. For example, a presentation like that helps a lot because obviously you have to finish the project to present it. Another point we always do is we choose a lead for the project. Like in a commercial project, there's one person who decides in the end, and you really need that because it's important that the whole team can bring ideas and you work on that together. But in the end, the whole project have to go in one direction. Otherwise, it's ending in chaos. And last but not least, stick to your plans. Stick to your plans you had in the beginning. If you have a setup in the beginning where you say, okay, this is a deliverable for us, this is our personal client brief, then stick to that and don't change it in the way because you would not do that with a commercial project as well. And this really leads to the best results, we think.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we were quite fast. We do have time for questions, so feel free to hit us up either right now or afterwards. Are there any questions that come to mind immediately?